place of Greg H. Looking at their class lineups, both teams running double demos. We see a sniper over there on HL3 in the person of Master Chef, and Chafe Seagreen's playing... Well, now he's a sniper as well. Ooh, that could be interesting. No scout there. Over on... sorry, go ahead.
This looks like it's going to be a very different match in terms of the way the players play. Class balances will be very different, and the timing is going to be different. I don't know that we'll see the racetrack we saw in the first match.
Agreed. These are teams, especially HL3, built to just slug it out. God perhaps slightly more flexible in terms of their movement, but they'll have to get through that wall of fire first. Team's starting to ready up.
You think it's smart for HL3 not to use a scout?
I kind of want to see their intentions before I pass judgment on that, but after what we saw last game, they're certainly going to have to choose a different play style than what we saw.
Well, I think what we're going to, if I got to say, I'm going to suggest that they're going to probably try to jump the intel back, which can work if they can get them in.
Yeah, Pimpstar and Dead Banditos are both definitely capable demo jumpers here. As is Jesus Faction over on God. We are underway.
Yeah, we're going to see a lot of explosives in this round. I don't think we'll see as much heavy domination. They'll be there. Probably not as much the focus.
Trout over there is definitely using an accelerated... Well, both teams using one regular Uber and one probably Kritzkrieg, judging by the speed the Uber's building.
Great jump from Siegfried there. And
God coming off better in the initial fight in the middle.
Yeah. HL3 loses 5 right in the mid.
One was a
for
medic.
God. And a medic, yeah, medic drop.
Okay, Trout is using the, God, I don't even remember the name of the saw. The saw that keeps your Uber when you die.
Vitasaw.
Vitasaw, that's the one, yeah. Just preserve 19% of his Uber
I believe banned in most competitive leagues. Of course, legal in the Ville Cup, which has no banned weapon items.
Exactly. We want to let people play as freely as they can. Everybody has access to the same things. Use what you like. This is going to be all Ubers ready very close to the same time.
Blue's got 2
God's
Ubers
got
ready.
200% and Red's 195. That's 4 100% Ubers on the board.
God's dropping in.
Interesting choice not to push by God there.
Yeah, God uses its crits, gets wiped out by the standard. However, they're sending in their scout behind the push. See what he can do.
Melee kills by Unforgiven on Who Cares and Pimpstar. Basically saved God there.
Scout in the intel room versus a sniper and a demo. You can't quite take him out, but boy, he made it interesting.
Yeah, he's not going to be able to get in and camp that. As HL3 gets spawns.
God does maintain control of the middle for a moment, though.
Yeah, and you'll notice Daryl has gone scout. So they do have the capability to sneak in. With their Ubers, looks like God is going to do a vents push, or we're trying. Yes, they are. With a heavy. They are snuffed out.
There's a crits on JF going into the intel room. He drops some serious damage, but the heavy just dodges out of the way, as does Who Cares.
There's
Bonking
Young
a scout.
attempting a...
Does some recon.
Did the distraction, but they didn't follow up on it.
Oh, 2 Uber heavies in the intel room. They pop the Wrangler. Sentry goes down anyway. This is going to be interesting. scout taken down, didn't have the Uber.
Nope, that push is
can't
not going to work.
quite make it. Sentry gun lasted just long enough to make the heavies.
Unforgiven's going to get killed with air and lose his sentry. He pushed a little too aggressively there.
Half-Life 3 now bringing some of their players out to try and make a foray against the middle here.
Both Intels at home still. God seems to retain control of middle. They do. There's a heavy
4
out
minutes down.
by himself. He's not going to last very long. Taken down by Young. Not sure what that was about, and this match playing a lot more like a typical pub turbine match than the last round.
Definitely both teams slugging it out pretty hard here, but not getting too far.
No, because I think we're lacking a little bit of organization. I'm not sure. Obviously, we can't hear their comms how they're coordinating, but it seems like they're just trying to clean up the middle and then get a push in. Not always that easy against a slightly more organized and planned team.
There's an Uber coming out on Pimp Star with Who Cares.
Nice
in the way
by,
for
HL3
Chafe
here.
on Pyro. Don't see a lot of Pyros in competition, but I can vouch for their effectiveness. Oh, he's extinguishing as well. He goes down in the vents, though.
It's like a nice push by HL3. They're going to be able to own the middle, it looks like, but they don't have a scout. They're really going to be slow getting the intel here, and God will get spawns back before they really can push it, I think. And they're getting pinched here.
Flank move by Dammits, for God there. Also playing Pyro now.
Which dropped both of HL3's medics. So they
Yep.
should have medic advantage right now.
Yeah, God getting a nice advantage here. Big trade.
Big time advantage.
Dammits is not as well a known player at the Ville, I think, than possibly our other famous reflecting Pyro, but his reflecting skills are almost as right up there with some dudes.
He sure is. He's scary, scary Pyro.
And Genius Faction, huge crit screed.
And there's the Uber out of the
there.
vent. That was a well-coordinated push into the room by God. Let's see if they can take it. There goes Dammits grabbing the intel. He can defend himself with that air blast as long as he doesn't meet another Pyro like that. There's Chafe.
But he's got a medic on him. He's going to get out.
He sure does. Dammits is going to take it, probably get the first cap of the game.
Now let's see here. Does God? Yes, God does attempt the forward hold of the intel room so they can try to get a second cap quickly. Really a necessary strategy here on Turbine if you want to get a lot of points.
First capture, and yep, there goes Young with the intel again.
And they're off to the races. I don't think anyone's going to be able to contest Young here. There's no one in
HL3 only has
three
3 people alive. It's a 9 versus 3 man advantage. God just dominating that position there. HL3 trying to push back into their own intel room, losing people to sticky bombs.
That was not a good push, and now the crits is out.
Daraldine gets the face stab on Darklino, just slashes him with the knife, gets the kill. But Moonray is carrying the intel and running for it. He's hurt, he's down.
The intel's out, but I'm not sure
God
they're
is
going to be
now
able to get
down.
that back.
Only 3
nice
people
pushback by
alive.
HL3.
HL3 should be able to hold this if they don't do anything silly.
And they dropped both of God's medics if they saw that.
Nice, nicely done. Who Cares has an Uber for HL3. This could be an opportunity for them to go in and do some damage. They also have to worry about, here they come, defending that intel.
Leading the heavy out.
Air Blast is shoving that heavy back. Yeah, Chafe goes down, Seagreens, but he did his job. He kept that heavy Uber from doing
Nice
anything.
jump by Master Chef. Do not expect that from him. He scattered them nicely, but it's not enough. They don't follow up on it. HL3 is kind of being kind of timid in their pushes, and it's costing them because they get stuck in a choke point. Even when they get good kills, they're not able to move out and then take control.
Agreed. And with God now having that little mini sentry up above HL3's lower exit, that could put a real cramp in their style if they try and push out and haven't noticed.
Good point. Nice drop down by Fingo.
Look at that man advantage God
Cleaned
has
up.
right now.
Yeah, only
And
4 up for HL3.
But both of their medics, importantly, are alive. Oh, not anymore.
And who cares?
That
cares?
75 gets shot by the scout. It is interesting seeing both of these pyros in play. Just got a viewer question asking why don't we see pyros in competitive play a whole lot. Frankly, I'm no expert on the subject, but I do have a couple thousand hours as a pyro. They just don't have any long-range capability that you need against a really good comp player. Somebody who's got explosives can really tear a pyro apart. There are one or two that are out there that are masters of air blasting and such, but the class just isn't versatile enough against that skill level.
Yeah. Well, I think in Six's play, the lack of mobility is there.
Exactly. You
It's a
don't have
big
any
concern.
ability to jump.
Right.
Looks like Alex joined and Daryl dropped out of the match.
Yes, indeed.
Yeah.
Good eye there. Alex coming in as a sniper.
Middle chain turn, I believe that is because Daryl was getting frustrated. He was changing classes frequently, I think you may have noticed. He sniped, he soldiered, he scouted, he played spy, and I think he decided they needed to change. Alex is a pretty good sniper, so I think she's going to see if she can kind of get them a pick.
Yeah, I hear that. Yeah, he mentioned earlier that he picked his players in the draft specifically wanting players that could play without him being there. He said his ping is usually pretty bad, and he sometimes feels that he's a liability on the team, so he wanted to make sure he had strong people who could replace him if he wasn't able to play.
Well, you can see here, Alex does pick Fingo, but HL3 got wiped down to one player, and one player again with the intel coming out.
Carrying the intel. Pyro, surprise, jump on him, gets sniped. Unfor with... Or sorry, that's a shotgun. That's a Frontier Justice. Takes him down.
God's about ready to cap Jesus Faction.
And we're 3-0 now.
You see some solo actions going on here. People coming out one or two at a time against the combined might of the group of drunks. That's just not going to cut it when you have a team that started gelling with itself.
I very much agree. Possibly a side effect of Daryl's decision there to let his team kind of free range.
Definitely could be. Sometimes working on getting that hard control can really help.
Yeah, communication is extremely important, and coordination.
But as you see, just like the first match, holding that center is what's controlling the whole match.
That's exactly
Correct.
right.
So you've got another case where HL3 gets a nice set of kills, and they push out to the middle. Let's see if they can turn this around and hold it.
They take out the teleport in the center. They are by themselves in the middle. Their own engineers out here. That's Lemon. Starting to set up his own gear.
He's dropping a telly, it looks like, first.
Yes, indeed. He might be running and trying to carry an upgraded gun, would be my guess. I saw him run back towards the intel room. Go take a
Here
look.
it comes.
Yes, indeed. He is bringing out some gear.
He's probably going to drop a level 3 out there.
HL3 doing the right thing. They're in the center. They're waiting in the center. They're not running in and dying like they were earlier. So they can hold this for a bit. Theirs going up on top of the box. That gun's up fully in a minute. That heavy doesn't get it. Heavy's down. Banditos takes the full combo out. Only 7 minutes left, but if they can start making some pushes here, HL3 is in a good position from here forward.
Well, we've seen 3 intel caps in a much faster time than 7 minutes.
We sure have.
Although certainly not in this match, with a more grinding nature of this match.
God's engineer running out by himself with a wrench into the center and swinging it. Perhaps a scouting action just to see what they were facing. His gear is up, and he's not feeling that his life's as important as it could be.
Oh!
Oh, Uber dropped. Trout gets taken out by a crit sticky. Fired by Jesus Faction with Dark Lino as his medic. Bonking
They're
that
using the bonk
sentry.
scout. They gotta get a little more damage on it. That'll take it down.
There's the sticky. They took out the Spencer the engineer was standing on. He can no longer repair it. There's a medic demo combo in the center still for Half-Life 3. They need to get their team back out here.
Scouts on the medic.
Seagreen.
Someone's got to defend that medic.
Seagreen's doing
Trout
some
does
damage.
finish. Oh, not quite. He's not going to escape.
It's so important to protect the medics. One Uber can make all the difference in the world. God working on getting back into the center. They sure don't have it yet, but they're trying. You see Lemon trying to rebuild in the protection of the upper booth there. I understand the desire, but it doesn't do anything for the team to have it there
Well,
while it's being worked
they're going to
on.
be able to spam it out like that. So
Exactly.
You saw the soldiers could put rockets in there, and it's going to go down.
You always have to put your gun in a place where it faces the action. Even if it's only level 1, it's better than having one that doesn't hit anything. It's like people who pre-build at spawn, you know. It doesn't help the team to pre-build at spawn because, well, that's getting built up. People just walk all over the front.
Right.
Yeah.
30 seconds with no gun, not good.
Exactly.
And HL3 went to 2 snipers now.
Indeed
Interesting
they have.
choice.
Alex and Chafe both sniping. Chafe coming off of Pyro to do that. Sniper not his first class. I think there's at least 3 that I believe he plays. I probably had more time in at one point, but I know he's good at it. I've been shot in the head by him far too many times, and I think he's been playing it a lot more recently than some of the other classes. Chafe, a longtime Ville Cup veteran, has multiple championship team memberships under his belt, as well as a couple other teams he's been on. Big man advantage going on for God right now, though they did lose somebody, so it's getting a little closer. Unfor, engineer punching out the demo.
That is the second time he's pulled that trick today.
It sure is. He's God. The God engineer has been very, very forward with his melee weapons, and it's worked out well. He's doing his job.
But his mini sentry placement is key. It's keeping HL3 from coming out that doorway a lot.
It is, and it's also a good warning if anybody tries to come out the vents, like that heavy medic combo's about to do. The click that it makes on his stereo speakers will tell him that there's somebody up there, so he can warn the team, give him an extra 1 or 2 seconds warning.
God is pushing in here and has grabbed the intel. Now they're going to get pinched if HL3 is paying attention, which they are not. Oh, there they go. They finally noticed them.
And he builds a gun to help cover himself on the fly. That's dangerous for that medic. That medic might go down from there. He had to pop the Uber in a bad place because of the mini sentry. That was...
Both intels are up and in the vents.
Oh my goodness.
Justice
That
wins.
fight, though.
That was a strange
And-
way to go with that, but it looks like Unfor is about to cap it for God.
Yep, and we're going to see 4-0.
Never let it be said that an engineer is not an offensive class. Not only did he build his gun in the center and beat somebody to death with his melee weapon, he then captured the intelligence almost by himself.
And here comes another intel run from Jesus Faction. It looks like they're going to break the game open here and about to go up 5-0.
They sure are.
We're
Taking
gonna
the
call this
intel,
one in the bag.
putting the intel in the vents, returning it, is not the best idea in the world, in my opinion. It's just such a hard place to get into if you lose it. You can be physically blocked
Correct.
by a single dead ring spine, you can't do anything about it, or anybody else. So, I understand the desire to be a little unpredictable, but Dangerous. God is indeed up 5-0 now. Intel has reset.
Interesting choice here. I've seen it, God do that several times, is send the bonk scout in, almost actually just to force the team to go back and cover him. They only have a mini sentry on the intel, so...
Psychological warfare works wonders.
Nice shot by Alex, although she only takes out the engineer.
Who
Will not
knows,
slow
maybe
down
that
the push.
matters. The engineer did some damage last time. Here's a crits on the defense.
Crits now, yeah.
There's the bonk scout running in again. Dancing with the mini sentry. Don't think God's going to get another one here, but we do have 35 seconds or so left. HL3 rolling into center with 5 or 6 people.
Mission ends in 30 seconds.
Yeah, God is playing defensively at this point. He's holding the vents against exits. HL3 frags the medic.
Mission ends in 10 seconds.
10 seconds left. It looks like we're going to go to a half with God taking round 1, 5-0. We'll be back in about 5 to 10 minutes.
Now, 5-minute halftime.
5 minutes it's going to be. Alright, so Plinkin Zero, what does Half-Life 3 have to change in the second round in order to have a little more action?
I'm going to guess they need to calm. They are probably, from the looks of it, not communicating very well. They're not coordinating. I'm going to guess that's actually the biggest problem, because I think their DMing was fine. I didn't see a strategic problem. Zero, what do you think?
I think their DM needs to improve. If you look at both of their demos, they should be in the top 3, and they're not.
I wonder, though, is that more of an artifact of their inability to move out as a group?
That, and I think the medics, HL3's medics, have been dropped so many times in that match.
Mm-hmm.
Your DM classes are only good as your medics. And if your medics keep getting dropped, you're not going to get a lot of DM.
And demos are usually strongest from behind, throwing damage out across other players. You need that to be successful.
What do you think of the choice? Both teams made the choice to do one Uber and one Kritzkrieg. Clearly it worked a little better for one of them than the other, but I believe they both maintained that mix for the entire match.
I think if I saw my opponent doing one Uber, one crits, I would have switched to both Ubers, because Ubers will always outlast a crits.
Right. I think this match being grinding the way it is, the Kritzkrieg is not enough of advantage, at least outside of the way you're winning the match normally. The point of the Kritzkrieg is to get it before they get their Uber and get their medic killed. Certainly for HL3, they didn't use that advantage at all. They just weren't very aggressive, and they were very slow to get to the middle. So popping a crits when the other team has an Uber doesn't help as much as you'd like it to.
I agree entirely. It's something I've always thought since the first alternate medic guns were introduced, was there's not a whole lot that any of them do that the normal Uber charge can't do better in some way. It's not that, the crits in particular does have a good place, but like Zero said, if you have a crits, both of you said, if you have a crits and the other person has an Uber, they're going to win every time.
All right.
And I think not having a scout to start off with for HL3 hurt them.
Yeah, they weren't as flexible to move around the map. Excuse me, weren't as flexible to move around the map as they could have been.
Well, we'll see in the second round here if these team switches hold. seeing Unforgiven at Spy, I think, would be very interesting.
Yeah, and we see Sea Green's now going to Scout. So perhaps picking up on that and going to his third different class of the night.
Now we see some changes here for HL3. They've brought in Pimpstar. Oh no, Pimpstar was here. They brought, I think Greg is going to play now, after dropping in the first round.
Greg's on GOD. They brought in P-House.
Oh, I see. He hasn't switched. Oh, it's P-House they brought in. I believe HL3 intended to have Alex sniping the entire run, and she was merely late to the match. I'm trying to clear up confusion about which player is leaving for God.
Looks like Siegfried has departed, an interesting choice given that he is their lieutenant. Now they have neither their captain nor their lieutenant in the game.
And we are at 9.
Teams just need to change their names in the console and ready up. We'll be underway.
Unforgiven's gone back to Engineer. I was hoping to see him Spy. He's a really interesting, fun player to watch as a Spy.
One of the teams has readied. They are still holding on God, trying to sort out their team roles, but they need to hit that button, get underway, because there's another match to go after this one.
Sentry going up.
And TMI again.
Yeah.
But it sounds like we'll be going shortly.
And we are underway.
3, 2, 1.
HL3 running 2 standard metaguns now. I approve of that change. Looks like God is still doing the split.
God is faster to middle and took the high ground.
They also eliminated one of HL3's medics. Or, I thought I saw them do that, I guess not. They did a bunch of damage to him, at least.
No, Lino did die, and...
There goes Trout.
There goes Trout.
So, both medics down.
Who cares? Still at 54 for HL3, and Dutchman at 75, 76. He is... What is he using? A quick fix, perhaps, to go that quickly? That would be a very interesting and unusual choice.
Who cares is going to hit 80 here shortly.
Dutchman is just using a standard Uber. He must have been getting a crit heal. He is 100%. Who cares also?
So out the gate we see God controlling the middle again. There's an Uber coming for HL3.
Banditos jumping in as a demo, and he takes out Darklino. Darklino was very close to full Uber, if not full, when he died. It's an important pick. Let's see if they can press it. They are using their second Uber on HL3. Pimpstar going in, getting air blasted by Damits.
Damits is going to basically ruin that one for them. God's going to hold on to their hold in the middle here.
Alex sniping out of the bottom with a Machina, along with Seagreens as Soldier now. Across that more
that is actually the AWP sniper hand.
Oh, is that the
Not
ops?
the Machina.
Yes,
Yeah,
it's the
so
Machina
it's just a
reskin.
No, it's a
upper hit.
regular sniper gun reskin.
Oh, is it? Okay, it just makes the sound.
Yep.
See how much I play sniper?
I know.
Maybe a battle about to happen in the vents. P-hats for HL3 trying to keep the entire God team out of the vents. Crit Rocket takes out the medic and the heavy together.
But then he gets a reflect. He gets reflected by damage, though.
He gets reflected, but that was an important little save he just did. There's a bonk.
Jesus Faction cannot get past the Siggy Trap, and now they're going to push. They don't have enough backup now. The Scout.
Young somehow survives the mini-sentry, but gets... Oh, Trout takes him down with the needle gun in a place this
Someone
team
should
can't
jump
help.
up there and pull that down.
Especially at both demos right there.
Yep.
Yeah.
I'm not sure why they did not. They should have known it was there and seen Young. But
You get tunnel vision
HL3's
sometimes
on it
in
now.
these games. Indeed. God's got 5 people in that lower vent, but HL3 defending
nice
high.
Uber push is going to defeat the Kritzkrieg.
Sure is. God's lost 4. What I'd love to see here is for HL3 to just take this and run straight into the basement on the opposite side. But they aren't able to get through there. That little mini-sentry survived.
Yeah, that has a lot, and Young is harassing nicely here, slowing them down. That's going to keep them from owning the middle, it looks like.
Which is a huge result for God.
Yes. HL3 kind of passed up on a big opportunity there.
Yeah, if they had really put all their strength behind that push and taken out that little gun, they could have turned the tide and perhaps had a chance to go make some pushes of their own.
Darklino's going to get, if he stays up, is going to get his Kritzkrieg long before either Uber is going to be ready for HL3 here.
Yes, indeed. He's crossing 95 there. And he's
got it
with
full
2
now.
demos ready to move in towards the intel room. Takes out both medics on HL3. And they have 4 people down.
Oh.
But God also has 4 people down themselves now.
That push did not work as well as they would have liked. Here's an aggressive move from Dead Banditos. I think he knows that their mini-sentry is not defending the intel. And he's going to see if he can just sneak past it.
Yes, indeed, going in through the vents.
But Damits has snuffed him out and is waiting for him. Somebody saw that and called it.
That is good Oh, he shot a sticky. If he hadn't shot that sticky... And he gets hit from behind by a soldier. Somebody on God has good communication.
Yep. Again, why communication is key.
Exactly. That could have been a cap for HL3. Instead, it was no problem at all. Good initiative by Banditos, though, realizing something's got to change.
Alex picks Dutchman, which is going to drop the medic.
Good shot there, and both of those HL3 medics are getting real close to Uber. Who cares? Needs to find somebody to heal. goes. He's healing up. One Uber is in use by Trout. Damitz is air blasting him back. Goes down, but he burns the Uber. There's a second one ready behind it. Here it comes on Dead Banditos. Facing a crits on Fingolfin from Darkly now.
Tango got behind him. They
Goes
didn't
down.
turn around very quickly.
Yeah,
Let him
but
push the
they-
rest of the team back.
It
which
did
is gonna-
indeed.
That's going to keep God in control of the middle.
It is, though, fortunately for God, Pimpstar went over the top and did knock out the mini-sentry and kept it from being rebuilt. If he can stay alive long enough to be a distraction so they can respawn, at least the fight will move to the center. Notice Young trying to go up, perhaps through the vents? Young, the scout for God, was dancing around by the garage door. He is backed off.
Probably looking for an opportunity.
The entire God team, is now in the center, near the lower opening of HL3.
And pushing the Jesus Faction crits once again. Scout's going for the intel.
Intel room is wide open. I don't know why the scout didn't take it there. But JF's going to do it. Okay, Young has it. He gets shot. Medic
I
has
think
it.
they wanted to use the scout as the second, let the first player die with it, and then have the scout take it.
That's a good point. They did
Third
try that,
player
but
gets out with
Alex
it, though.
then sniped the scout. Darkolino gets away as the medic, carrying the intel. He takes the safe route up the garage door. That should do it.
Quite a change after these other matches. It's going to be
Indeed.
over 8 minutes before we see the first cap.
Quite a change, as you say, but God does capture the intel. Long run by Darkolino.
And they're holding the intel room, which is real key right now.
Yep, they pick up
Yeah,
a second
they sure
intel
did.
grab.
That's Moonray now who has it. He's a soldier, moves slowly, but he can take some damage if it happens.
Well, and I believe we'll see him try and get back quickly. Oh, no, he just hops across. Especially dangerous with that demo there. And
That
the
is demo and
mini-sentry
a
on it.
sentry and all sorts of action happening here. But it's a wrangled sentry, which in that case is not a great idea, but the heavy does
gets him
protect
killed.
it.
But eventually, I believe, God will be able to cap that with it right outside their spawn door.
Indeed. Yeah, here comes Pyro Demo, Medic. They just need to get out there and touch it, keep it alive until they can cap it. When it's there, a good way is to drop down from up above, see if you can land on it to keep it alive. There's the Demo touching it,
And there
he
it
gets
goes.
away, gives it to another.
The mini-sentry, nice build there by Unforgiven. Oh, the mini-sentry sniffs it out.
Yes, indeed. But that will be a second cap coming up. And yeah, caps both ways going on now.
Oh, yeah. I did not see there until it got snuck out, but there it is.
Nor did I, but Chafe gets through the mess and takes it back. So HL3 perhaps figuring out the offense part of the game and going to come and say hello, because here comes Dead Banditos with another one for HL3.
That's correct.
He does the
And that's
big
what I like
jump.
to see. Love to see the big jump across the middle area.
Sure do. And unless there's somebody in the intel room, which there's not, he's got a safe return home to even it up at 2.
And God's spending a lot of time just outside their spawn door. That slowdown is going to be very risky very quickly if they don't get out of there. Get that heavy under control.
We've seen in both games when somebody gets a hold of the spawn room, or the intel room, a whole lot of people stack up outside of spawn and try and shoot down the hallway at it. Not the best tactic, in my opinion. You really want to get out to the center, because they can't escape if you're in the center, and you can keep the reinforcements from turning it into a relay race.
Yes, and you've got Pimpstar trapping the garage door there, trying to force them to fight them over at the intel room and avoid getting pinched. I like what HL3 started to do here.
Yeah, somebody had a brainwave and it's working out. 9 minutes remain.
I believe there are Ubers for God in here as well. There it is.
Yep, popping now. HL3 Trout does have an Uber. Alex gets flanked.
HL3 doesn't have anybody in
HL3 has
position
popped
to
an
take the
Uber as
intel.
well.
Oh, there it is.
There it
Scout
goes. Seagreen's trying to make the run. He gets broken.
dropped out from the
Heavy takes it.
But the heavy has it.
Heavy's going to get taken down by Pyro there. Much as it pains me to say it, a heavy can take out a pyro at point blank if he turns and faces him, but pyros have the advantage in the circle strafe, and a good one will dance around behind you and you'll never be able to see him.
Oh, beautiful axe extinguished there by Dammits to save that intel. 2 more seconds and Jesus Faction would have been out there with another cap.
Yes, indeed.
Meanwhile, we remain tied at 2.
Lemonsky is working with the demo, with Pimpstar to keep that right side under control. The rest of the team can get in there and touch that intel. As you said, big turnaround is possible.
Controlling the middle is really key to winning on Turbine.
Absolutely.
It's not often you're going to see a match like we saw the second half of the first match, where a team is not controlling the middle but manages to sneak a scout in for 10 caps.
Yeah, that was ridiculous. Neither team was trying to control anything except the other team's intel room, so... Damn, it's working it, trying to protect that intel. He gets another kill, but the intel is reset and moves forward. It's picked up again, that should do it. He just needs to get out of dodge. There's the scout. Sea Green's going to pull it for 3. Ooh, the mini sentry putting in work takes out a medic in the center. Orphans the soldier. Soldier's going to take it out and go into the vents. See if anything comes of it. He's going to head straight for the intel room through the vent. There is a medic in the demo down there. They might not know he's there. They do not know he's there. That's an uber-ready medic, specifically. Moonray is in the vent. He drops in. Nobody defending. Medic might see him. Who cares? Does see him. Should be calling it out now. Moonray
GOD
gets away, but he's facing the medics. The medics are the ones doing the back defense here with their needle gun.
Yeah.
And they actually take down the soldier and defend successfully.
Very dangerous, but they drop 6 and only lose 1.
It's a medic demo versus just a medic. That is not good news for HL3.
Nope.
God is going to
This will be another cap for Jesus Faction. Although he should drop and get back in the fight, given the way he's dominating the match in terms of DM.
There's going to be cap number 3 coming up for God, making it equal at 3s again. What sort of changes are you seeing in the way HL3 is playing this time from last time that you think is responsible for such a difference in what we're seeing on the scoreboard?
Well, all their caps have been from Scout, and they keep subbing out the Scout, and there's no caps.
So keep the Scout in the game is the message you're saying.
I would recommend it. I'm not sure why they're feeling the need to press back to the Pyro.
Yeah, they keep bringing back the Pyro. It's really not effective right now.
No, not when their primary offense has been a sticky crit Jesus Faction.
Agreed. They've got an Uber heavy for HL3 in the mill as Uber's just born off, but they took down the enemy heavy, and there goes a medic. The other God medic does have his Uber ready.
But before we criticize HL3 too much, we gotta remember they were down 5-0 last round, and being here tied isn't a big improvement. They are down a player.
They have lost
a player. And that is Seagreens has subbed out. Or no, not subbed for Seagreens. There he is.
They lost Arglino?
They did.
No, yeah, you're right.
Oh no, they lost a medic.
They've lost a medic. That's huge.
They are down a medic. Daryl Dime swapping in.
They lost Trout.
Ah, yes they did. I'm not sure if that was a drop or if
Daryl jumping in that quickly, I'm guessing. Well, he is in their team speak, so he could hop pretty quick, but I'm guessing he may have done that deliberately. Why you would swap a medic mid-battle, I don't know. They are still playing with only 1 medic.
Yeah, Daryl Lynch on Pyro, which is a weird choice. I'm sure with this ping, he's afraid to play medic and get dropped frequently.
Somebody else needs to swap onto it then, in my opinion.
They have players capable of doing so.
They certainly do. HL3's 1 Uber has been used. They're fighting at the bottom, trying to get into the room. Intel is at the exit of the room. They're trying to get in there.
No, but you
HL3
can see
has 2 men up. Yeah, absolutely. It is now 7-on-2 in favor of God because of the heal difference.
Yeah, they did a lot of nice damage there. They moved the intel. They just didn't have the heals to stay up long enough to get it out.
Yeah. And Alex has noticed the problem and asks why do we have a single medic. Probably shouldn't have said that in the public channel.
Was thinking the same thing.
Don't want to ever say something like that in a channel your opposing team can see. Right now, God is taking the intel.
Plus, they got 2 Ubers ready in that intel room.
2 Ubers versus 1 at 33%.
Shop has gone medic to shore things up for HL3.
Daryl swapped over to medic to join Who Cares.
Oh, there they go. I think they had to dance around with that a little bit. Probably a little miscommunication on the class structure.
Yeah, with the class limits in place, you have to be careful with your swapping.
Correct. So you need to get people either back to spawn or do it while they're both dead. That might have been the problem. Looks like they've got it corrected. But they lost a cap during that miss-up in a tied game. So.
And an opportunity, because it wasn't just losing a cap, it was losing a cap they could have had.
Yeah, this could have been 4-3 the other way very easily there.
Most definitely. Right now, God is going into HL3's vents and is holding most of the center. Though HL3 does have an Uber Heavy walking through the center right now, it's YO with PD with Who Cares.
No, but the combo is up on the balcony behind them. It's going to be dangerous if they're not careful.
Yes, indeed.
Moonray doing a nice job pressing
by
the
themselves against a Pyro who has retreated, and an Engineer who's now walking into a trap he doesn't even know about.
GOD just finally gets a 4th player up now.
There are very few people alive, only 7 players alive out of 18 possible.
Call that a bloody mid-fight.
Yeah, absolutely. These teams are just clobbering
we got heavies
each
in the
other.
vents, clobbering each other. Yeah, this has been a much more of a heavy fight. Oh,
Uber's wasted in the vent.
Uber dropped on the heavy.
He gets a demo and makes up for it, kills the other heavy in return, but yeah, that was important.
I suspect YO thought he was going to win that fight and that they didn't need to use it. Medic realized a little too late that he did need to use it.
Indeed. That's going to be a demo medic dropping on the undefended intel of HL3. Now here comes the defense, and they get it. P-Hats from behind with a soldier in the vent takes out the medic demo.
Yeah, the hesitation there killed them. They needed to just get right out in the space that they could work.
Absolutely. With an indirect fire class like that in particular, you do not want to be in a confined space.
Right now, HL3 medics need to stay alive and not drop these Ubers if they want to have any chance of capping for a tie.
Here comes an Uber,
we have
55
seconds to go.
Second one is readying up. The Uber on God is gone. Second Uber was dropped. Second Uber dropped on HL3.
Yep. And there goes Who Cares. Lost to a Frontier Justice shotgun. I think that's gonna end this.
Both the God's medics are up, yeah.
Both God's medics are up. They're in control in the middle.
Yeah, this doesn't have a happy ending on it for HL3, even with that gun up there. They're trying to run a couple people in at the last second, but it's going to be too little too late unless something miraculous happens.
That's correct. And given there's a lead, time would expire even if they did pick up the intel.
Yep. And that's going to be game, folks. God takes it 4-3 in the second round and wins the night 2-0. Good game. Coming up next is going to be 32X the add-ons versus T5. We'll see you in a couple minutes.